New York City is a place where millions of stories happen every single day. People rush through the streets, taxis honk loudly, and bright lights shine all night long. But sometimes, hidden between those busy streets, something mysterious happens. This is the story of a boy named Daniel Brooks. Daniel was a 16-year-old teenager who had recently moved to New York with his mother. Life wasn't easy for them. His mother worked long hours at a small restaurant, and Daniel spent most of his time alone after school. One evening, Daniel was walking home from school. The sky was dark and cold wind moved through the tall buildings. Instead of taking the usual street, Daniel decided to walk through a narrow alley he had never used before. The alley looked old and quiet. Most of the buildings around it were abandoned. As Daniel walked deeper into the alley, he noticed something strange. One of the buildings had a small wooden door that looked very old, but what made it strange was this. Daniel had walked near this area many times before, and he had never seen that door. Curious, he stepped closer. There was a small metal sign above the door. It said, "Only the curious will discover the truth." Daniel laughed quietly. "That's weird," he said to himself. He slowly pushed the door. To his surprise, it opened. Inside the door was a narrow staircase leading downward. The place looked dusty and forgotten. Daniel hesitated for a moment. Part of him felt nervous, but another part of him felt excited. He took out his phone, turned on the flashlight, and started walking down the stairs. The staircase led to a hidden underground room. The room was small but fascinating. There were old books, maps, and photographs covering the walls. In the center of the room stood a wooden table. On that table was a small locked box. Daniel walked toward it. The box looked ancient, like it had been there for many years. Next to the box was a piece of paper. Daniel picked it up. The paper read, "The future belongs to those who are brave enough to open new doors." Daniel felt confused. Is this some kind of puzzle? He wondered. He looked around the room again. Suddenly, he noticed something shining on the floor near one of the shelves. It was a small key. Daniel picked it up. His heart started beating faster. He walked back to the table and placed the key inside the lock of the box. For a moment, he paused. What if this is something dangerous, he thought. But curiosity won again. He turned the key. Click. The box slowly opened. Inside the box was not money, not jewelry. Instead, there was a letter. Daniel unfolded the letter carefully. It said, "If you are reading this, it means you were curious enough to enter this room. Many years ago, I created this place for dreamers, people who believe they can change their future. Inside this box is something simple but powerful." Daniel looked back inside the box. There was a small notebook. When he opened the notebook, he saw pages filled with ideas, business plans, inventions, and motivational notes. At the bottom of the letter, it said, "This notebook belonged to someone who once had nothing but dreams. Today, he owns one of the biggest companies in New York. Dream big, start small, never stop." Daniel's eyes widened. He looked again at the notebook. Many of the ideas inside were brilliant. Some pages had sketches of apps, websites, and creative projects. That night, Daniel took the notebook home. Every evening after school, he read those pages and started learning new skills online. Months passed. Daniel worked harder than ever before. Using one of the ideas from the notebook, he created a small mobile app. At first, nobody noticed it, But slowly, people started downloading it. Then thousands of people. Then hundreds of thousands. Within 1 year, Daniel's small idea turned into a successful startup. News channels started talking about him. People called him the young genius of New York. One day, during an interview, a reporter asked him, "What inspired you to start all of this?" Daniel smiled. He thought about that mysterious alley, that hidden door, and the secret room. But when he went back to find it again, the door was gone. The building looked completely normal, as if the secret room had never existed. Daniel smiled and said to the reporter, "Sometimes life gives you a hidden door. You just need the courage to open it." And that is how a curious teenager discovered a secret that changed his life forever.